everybody. If you stand still, you stagnate. And it is true that in every aspect of life, and so too in the realm of the classical art of Bharata Natyam, for one must constantly explore and become the tributaries that feed the river of tradition. I started my wonderful journey into the classical art form of Bharatanatyam exactly 6 decades ago, and learnt from the illustrious gurus of the Sri Rajarajeshwari Bharatanatya Kala Mandir, an institution with a long history of tradition and expertise in this dance form. My personal guru, K. Kalyanasundaram, taught me all that I know about the dance technique, its methodology, and honed my skills in performing. I was very fortunate to receive accolades from eminent critics. One that will remain with me forever is from Dr. Sunil Kothari, who said, "A star whose brilliance was unmatched, blossomed and bloomed in the dance firmament." I doubt I have lived up to his expectations, but it certainly brings a smile when I think back on it. My 6 decades of association in dance included being a student, a teacher, a performer, a conceptualizer, and a choreographer, as well as a mad enthusiast for dance. Coming as I did from a mixed background of a Malayali mother and a Punjabi father, my instincts really wanted me to further the art of Bharatanatyam so that what was essentially a classical South Indian dance could become comprehensible to a North Indian mindset. I have often heard it said that Bharatanatyam is wonderful to watch for the first 15-20 minutes, but after that a kind of monotony sets in. These words should have angered me, but in fact I felt motivated to change and to explore and to widen the frontiers of classical dance to make it more acceptable to the lay person. This was going to be a challenge, but I realized it was one that I wanted to do. And the first such challenge was when I received a copy of the Gita Govinda, a Sanskrit epic poem by the 12th century poet Jayadeva, which describes in beautiful Sanskrit couplets the celestial love between Radha and Krishna and the pivotal role that the Sakhi plays. Many a dancer has performed segments of the Gita Govindam in a regular repertoire of dance, but I wanted to present the entire Gita Govindam as a soloist. So I contacted my friend, the late Ajay Lal, who, using 9 automated projectors and multi-screens, created a beautiful audio visual. I then got in touch with Avinash Prasricha, an ace dance photographer, who, with his expertise in photography created me as the three protagonists, Radha, Krishna, and the Sakhi, through his lens. Lastly, I connected with my favorite Carnatic musician, Sri O.S. Arun, who in his inimitable style sang the music, the musical score. On the day of the performance, dance and music coexisted along with audiovisuals and narration and beautiful pictures dissolving on giant screens. I started to teach dance at an early age because it was a natural outcome of my interest in the art. I wanted to give children the chance to enjoy this art and to gradually ease them into its rigors. So I did this by creating very age-related programs like The Birth of Jesus, The Sound of Music, Alice in Wonderland, and even Noddy, the little wooden toy made immortal by Enid Blyton. There was an immediate connect with the children, and they were excited by this. For it is important to be able to grasp them at an early age and to encourage them to delve into the traditional art forms. This way was easier for them, and I felt that it would take a longer time and they could do it later, learning emotions of bhakti or of the pining woman waiting for her lord. That were the regular themes in Bharatanatyam performances. A personal favorite of mine was The Sound of Music. This extraordinary film describes the story of the young and outspoken Maria who came from the abbey to look after the 7 truant children of Captain Von Trapp. The songs of this extraordinary film were all-time favorites, and so I didn't want to tamper with the melodies, but I infused it with new lyrics and gave it an Indian feel. I'd like to give you a small example of how I did this. फूलों और पत्तों पर बारिश का पानी, कलियों के थिरकन और रंग आसमानी, झरनों के रिमझिम हवा मंद मंद, मुझको तो ये सब बहुत ही पसंद. झुम झुम तक धीम धीम तक झुम तक धिमी ताम, जुनु जुनु तक dhimi dhimi tak junu tak dhimi te. So in this way, the beautiful song of Raindrops on Roses got its Indian appeal, and Bharatanatyam was also danced through it. And in this way, the whole story unfolds. For years we have presented the birth of Jesus, the nativity story, and I infused it with Christmas carols and Bharatanatyam dance as well as gospel singing. A beautiful incident through this play comes to mind, where the animals in the barn sing just after the birth of the Holy Child. The donkey says, मैंने ढोकर लाया माँ मरियम को, बेथलेहम पहुंचाया, ये मैंने किया. And the sheep says, मैंने ऊन दिया नन्हे राजा को सर्दी दूर कर दी, ये मैंने किया. And the cow boasts, ये चरनी मेरी है, गौशाला में सोया है यीशु उसकी गोदी में. धीम धीम तन तोम तोम तन तन धीर नाम, as they dance and they sing in unison. A chance encounter with a Kathak exponent urged me to do a Bharatnatyam and Kathak Jugalbandi, in which the Bharatnatyam dancer performed to the tabla, and the Kathak exponent danced to the beats of the mridangam. As the experienced dancers and the large group of musicians reached a crescendo, the audience completely forgot that here were two different dance styles, but they were instead enveloped in the beauty of the pace, the rhythm, the music, the histrionics, and the aesthetics. And they were so enveloped in it that one reached almost a divine space. And this, when we reach, we call it in dance rasa. It is the hope of many dancers to be able to reach and take the audience to this perfect space where there is a feeling of bliss. Now, when you think of powerful women who have left an indelible mark on society, the names of Sita and Draupadi immediately come to mind. Draupadi was the wife of not one, but of the 5 Pandava kings. And of course, we know that Sita was the devoted wife of Lord Rama. These extraordinary women have left such a mark, and they were so wonderful in their temperaments and so different in their temperaments that I felt compelled to tell their story. Draupadi says one day to Sita, "Tell me, Sita, is it possible that you can love one of your husbands more than the others?" And Sita replies, "The sentiment of love is spontaneous. It is like a beautiful flower that blossoms unexpectedly, to be treasured, not analyzed. Analyzing love would be to demean it." But Draupadi carries on and tells Sita about her desire for an ideal husband. And she says that I wanted a man who would be the upholder of truth, one with extraordinary strength, invincible in warfare, with a sharp intellect, and above all, one that could rival the beauty of Cupid. Sita quizzically asks, would all these qualities be possible in a single man? And then smiles and adds, perhaps, Draupadi, that is why you were granted 5 husbands. It's a good thing that she didn't enumerate any more qualities, otherwise we don't know how many husbands she may have ended up with. We have had the opportunity and the privilege of performing face to face, as this production is called, in numerous countries abroad as well as throughout India. It is one of our very popular dance presentations. My latest production has been Devadasi, the Eternal Dancer. This talks about the temple dancing women of southern India who were dedicated to the temple and were married to the idols. Theirs was a very traumatic journey which had wonderful highs where they were celebrated and terrible lows where they were spurned. But it must never be forgotten that the Devadasi and her dance was the starting point of the art form of Bharatanatyam, and so I felt very close to the Devadasis and I wanted to create their story in a dance drama. But as usual, I had to have a twist to the tale. And here we find a young Devadasi who suddenly one day comes across a handsome and young sculptor in the temple, and her emotions get heightened. And as Cupid, the god of love, showers his arrows on her, the Devadasi experiences something completely different to her normal life. But finally, tradition has to prevail, and she goes back to her life in the temple. But one is left wondering whether she ever thought of the idiom and perhaps believed in it, that it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Bharatanatyam is a classical dance form that has very strict rules and cannot be learnt in a hurry. That Rome was not built in a day is a saying that stands true for this art form, for its enormous edifice needs committed dedication for it to grow within the artist. And a traditional art that has survived for over 5,000 years has to be possessively protected. Purists may suggest that I have strayed from the traditional path, but I firmly believe that for any classical dance to become relevant in today's fast-changing society, the connoisseur as well as the layperson must be engulfed into its fold. It is only then that Bharatanatyam will become a truly global art form. Thank you for listening.